Hello and welcome to the Wonder Studio character creation. Wonder Studio allows you to upload and replace actors in your live action videos and movies with your CG characters. To be able to upload your characters, however, they need to meet the requirements outlined in the documentation, or if it's easier for you, you can follow this video to get started. We've created an add-on for both Blender and Maya 3D softwares that will help you and guide you in preparing your characters for Wonder Studio. You can find the add-on if you go to the resources section under the character creation part of the documentation. There, you can download an add-on for your software of choice, either Maya or Blender, and install it. Now, for Blender, you need to go to the Edit menu, Preferences, and then Add-ons. And there you can install or rather select the folder that you've downloaded. After the add-on loads, you can check the checkbox to enable it in the list of add-ons. And then you can find the add-on by expanding the Tools panel in the 3D viewport. For Maya, it's a little bit different. Once you've downloaded the add-on, you can find the folder with the scripts called WD Maya Tools. And that folder needs to be placed into the modules folder where your Maya has been installed. After that has been done, a new shelf should appear after Maya has been restarted. We will go into more detail on how to use each of these softwares respectively. However, what we need to note right now is that the add-on will help you and warn you of most shortcomings on your character. We will now go over the requirements your character will have to meet to pass the validation successfully. It is important to note that the add-on will inform you if the following requirements are not met. File sizes and types of files are limited when uploading your character to the platform. However, you can reference these limitations in the character requirements section of the documentation. When uploading the character, you will need to provide at least two files. The first one would be the metadata file, which currently needs to be in the JSON format and needs to be generated by the add-on itself. And the second file is the character file, or rather your 3D model, which currently needs to be in either blend format, if you've prepared your character in Blender, or FBX format, if you've prepared your character in Maya. Additionally, if your character has textures, you can provide your textures for your character, and they need to be in either JPEG format, PNG, TIFF, or EXR formats. Of course, at the end, make sure your character is not exceeding the maximum allowed number of polygons and hair strands as outlined in the character requirements. AI Mocap produces animation data for 52 bones. The name of the rig that will drive the pose must end with the tag body. In Blender, you can do this by adding the tag body at the end of the armature's name. And in Maya, you can do this by placing the skeleton inside the group, naming the group, and adding body suffix, same as for Blender. However, it's important to note that there can only be one rig with the tag body, so make sure not to assign this tag to any other rig or to multiple rigs. The rig with the tag body needs to have at least one bone that represents the hips or pelvis bone. This bone is responsible for translating or driving your whole character. Face Performance Capture will produce animation for 88 blend shapes. In case your character has blend shapes, that can drive the facial performance. Similar to the pose rig, the name of the mesh that will drive the facial performance must add with the tag face instead of body. In Blender, you can do this by adding the tag face at the end of the mesh name, and in Maya, you can do this in a similar fashion as to Blender. You can just add the face suffix to the mesh name, which will drive the facial performance. Similar to the pose system and the body tag, there can only be one mesh with the tag face. In the case that the face mesh is split into multiple objects, such as eyebrows, eyelashes, teeth, these secondary face meshes can also receive the animation. For this to happen, same blend shapes must be applied on both the secondary face mesh as well as the main face mesh, even though they are not deforming that main face mesh. This is so that the animation can be applied on and driven from only one mesh. Secondary face meshes, however, will be linked to the main face mesh automatically. It is important to note that your character must have at least one usable facial blend shape on the main face mesh. Finally, moving on to the warnings. Our add-on is going to give you multiple warnings as reminders that your character might not be completely mapped to our system As a result, the character may lose certain performance and animation quality may decline. These messages are reminders and do not need to be resolved, but if possible, it will be beneficial to resolve them. First of all, you should check that your character doesn't have any hidden objects in the scene or that the objects are disabled in render by mistake. This can be resolved if your character is not showing in the final render, even though it passed validation. As mentioned previously, only the bone representing hips or pelvis is actually required. However, it is not recommended to leave out bones randomly. If your character has a torso, try to create all spine and clavicle bones. The same goes for the head and neck parts, as well as for any limbs your character may have. Leaving out bones will negatively impact the animation quality, as your character will not be able to bend that part of the body properly. You can visit the pose system part of the documentation for more information on bone groups and how to position bones for the best animation results. In case your character possesses limbs, it is beneficial for the limb bones to follow a clear hierarchy. This is to enable IK or inverse kinematic features found in the Live Action Advanced project. In the case that the limb bones are not connected through the hierarchy, these features will not work on that limb. In a similar way to bones, it is beneficial to create as many blend shapes as possible to ensure the best facial performance. In the case of non-organic characters, however, you can rig blend shapes values to drive any property of your rig. Of course, you can visit the face system part of the documentation for more information on groups or facial shapes and how to progress your blend shape creation to get better performance. This has been just a quick summary of the character creation or character validation for Wonder Studio. In next videos, we will go into more detail on how to prepare your characters in both Blender and Maya using our add-ons. Thank you very much and enjoy. Bye.